All right, welcome back under the rug, people. I know it's a unorthodox day. We normally do the show on Thursday. However, today is Wednesday, and we're doing the show today because I just thought it would be quite fitting for what we want to discuss that we do it on today, which is a holiday in the Bahamas, which is Majority Rule Day, and it got me thinking. Well, before I get into that, let me first acknowledge the people that have been sending their condolences. As you may or may not know, my grandfather passed on Saturday, which was January the 6th, which is my brother's birthday, actually, and my cousin's birthday. But my grandfather passed this Saturday. He was 86 years old. A lot of people say we look alike. They've been calling me Lil Alva my whole life. So my twin passed away on Saturday. So I want to thank all of those people that were sending their condolences and their warm wishes and warm feelings and love. I appreciate it. The family appreciated it. And we just want to say thank you for all of that. But on to the show about today. I wanted to discuss because I see people asking each other, what does majority rule mean to you? Or what is the real meaning of majority rule and all of this and that? But when I hear majority rule, I hear something else. And it's a term that I don't like because I think it actually gives off this master ruler, slave master type of feeling because it says rules. So the majority rules. And I think what happens is a group of people feel as though they can rule over another group of people when you continue to say majority rule. And where I see this prevalent is when it comes to religion in the Bahamas, more specifically Christianity, because they call us a Christian nation, which we know better than that. But Christian is the dominant religion in the Bahamas, and they do try to dominate. Whereas in life, they try to force you into, there we go. She's here. Let me add it to the broadcast. They try to force you into believing what they believe or subscribing to their religion. And that's what we see over and over. Yes, Chrissy has arrived. We got to sort it out. So the restart work.
I restarted the phone.
Awesome. Okay. You can hear all right, Dakota?
Yes.
Hey, Dakota.
Excellent.
Happy birthday.
Hi, honey.
Happy birthday. Can I say happy birthday, babe?
Yes, you can. Definitely.
I wanted to tell her that, but I was like, I wonder how that would.
Hey, I know. That's because you have to be a bish.
But
If I had a
Dakota's
dollar
birthday
for
was
every
yesterday,
time.
so let's wish Dakota a happy birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was just acknowledging earlier, Chrissy, thanking the people for their condolences.
Yes.
My grandfather
Thank
passed on Saturday. Alva Smith.
Condolences to your family.
Yes. It was great. But and the thing is, I'm not sad at all. I know he had a long, good life. We had a great relationship. And so it's not a sad thing. And like I tell people all the time, death is a very important part of life. Actually, it's the most important part. Is what gives life value and meaning. You know what I mean? Our time, all of us on borrowed time, and one day all of us could be gone. So use the time wisely. Stop bickering and crying and complaining over small things. Appreciate the life that you have and live with it while you're here.
Word.
Yes. So now back on to the topic. Like I was saying earlier, we're going to be discussing how the majority rules over the minority in the Bahamas.
Oh, Lord. You just interpreting that. I heard that just now. I said, look at Greg.
Hey, listen, majority rules means something else to everybody, to different people, right? I hear people have
the history behind it, right?
Yes, I do. Okay. However, I still don't like.
Y'all young.
I still don't like the term, even in the context of history. I don't like that term. I don't like the majority rules term. I don't like the word rules. Now, you could say majority decides or something like that, but the majority rules, that's a different ball game when you put the word rule into it.
Well, that's true.
Back in the day, Greg, we weren't at the height of what I would call extensive vocabulary for the majority. Even now, we ain't at the height of extensive vocabulary. So imagine back then, they got to simplify so that the people could understand. You have to look at this from every perspective now.
Dakota, just don't give you no kind of rub.
No, not But I mean, I'm sure even back then, which was only 50 years ago, Chrissy? I'm 51, sure 50 years ago.
1967.
Decide was in the vocabulary. So I ain't giving them that excuse. I think it was.
Ask my granddad about this. My granddaddy was born in 1929.
Wow, what a blessing!
And he's still alive.
Yeah, you should. And you know what? And also, and I'm glad you said that. Um, what you should do, Dakota, is do want to do a show with your dad because I did one with my grandfather.
Yes.
I told my family that, I want to do a show with him before he passes away because he turned 80 something on, I think last week, Friday.
Hmm.
It's a blessing. And we're so blessed in the Bahamas. We have a lot of the living history. I mean, even people like myself who are at independence, bringing it in, we're very fortunate in that we're such a young country that we still have a lot of the living history. The problem is that our so-called leaders don't like to capture it. So
Mm.
it's up to your families to tell you what went on.
Right.
But again, it was 51 years ago on this day. And a lot of people who were watching my show, Greg, didn't even realize that the election resulted in a tie because the political directorate has taken the day and used it for their own selfish gain.
Hmm.
Nobody won today.
Most definitely. And our history
Tie.
gets lost, and we do a poor job of telling our history. But
We have to do better.
Dakota, do the show because I'm so glad I did a show with my grandfather before he passed, and I implore you guys to check it out. It was actually episode 13, Under the Rug, episode 13. Uh,
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I'm
yeah,
not even at episode 13 yet.
You can get there, girl. It
I
flies
it's,
by.
know.
it's video and everything. It was me, him, and my cousin Stevie. It was three different generations.
Yeah.
At the
I
time,
Wow.
saw
I
that
think
show.
Stevie
Good
was
show.
about 50. He was like 85, and I was about 32 or something like that at the time. So it's different generations talking about the history of the Bahamas and independence. And so
Mhm.
I implore all of you who are watching now to go ahead and check that out after the show, right on YouTube. Just look for Under the Rug
Watch
podcast
it
and
as well.
episode
Because
13.
my
Y'all
granddad's
subscribe.
recollection,
Yes, please
my
subscribe to the
granddad,
channel as well. And that's
he,
episode 13. Happy Dependence Day. Um, yeah, so
his
check that one out.
recollection is awesome as well. That's
Thank
the way that we know all about our family history, like in depth. It's not watered down. We know from M to STEM where we're from and who we are because of
Yep.
him.
That's good. Because a
Awesome.
lot of Bahamian, you know what frightens me when I used to be a teacher? I was stunned at how many Bahamians could not tell me their great grandmother or father's name.
Yep.
It's sad how we just disregard history in our country. But
Yes.
we weren't taught. Thank you, Keitra Child. I did a
Thanks,
scrub on myself.
teacher.
I did my majority rule scrub. I am glowing.
All right, so let's get into it. And Chrissy, I want you to start with your story with these bully Christians, right? Because I hear you. I know you said it before, but for those that haven't heard it, tell us that wonderful story about when Wayne was in let me don't call the
That
school.
shitty school. What do you call that name? Well, I was raised a good Ganglican. And so when I had my baby, I wanted my baby to be raised in the Ganglican school. Now, I was raised a Ganglican, but I went to the Catholic gang school. And so one day my son came home screaming at me, "Oh, mommy, the devil's going to get me with the pitchfork." I was like, "The who's going to get you with the what who?" He's like, "Today and he couldn't say mass. He
Mhm.
said, "Today in mass." I was like, "How appropriate." They said that if we don't behave, the devil's going to get us with the pitchfork. So,
Wow.
I march up that hill, right? And I said, "What is this shit you teaching my child?" Well, I didn't say shit.
Now, did you say that just like that?
No, I said it like that to my girl Allie at the desk. But by the time I got to the principal, I said, "What is this malarkey you're teaching my son? I have a major problem with you scaring my child about some horned creature with a pitchfork.
Mm-hmm.
That is complete and utter nonsense." See, I'm going to say
Bullshit.
bullshit again.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, honey. I was Pastor Chrissy Love. Don't fuck with me.
What you say?
Anyway, so as I was saying,
Pastor Chrissy?
look at Jesus used to curse too. Anyway, so when I told them that, they said to me, "Well, this is a Christian school." Yes, Ganglican. You heard me, Dakota.
And that is the correct
Gang.
one.
This is a Christian school and it's an Anglican school, and that is what we teach. I said, "Well, while I can appreciate your Anglicanism, I think scaring first graders with the devil and pitchfork is kind of ignorant."
Mm-hmm.
And let me be disgusting. I used to try to be nice to the principal because she's a little skitsy. I'm making fun of mental illness. So I used to try to be gentle with her.
Mm-hmm.
So they told me if I didn't like it, then that is the curriculum. So who was in another school the next semester? My
Wayne.
child was actually afraid. And I said to myself, I understand you teaching religious knowledge. I know it's an Anglican school. I know you have to teach these things, but can you teach it with sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so they weren't willing to hear my situation. And, the whole, oh, how could you talk about your school and your church and your faith like this? I was like, you know what? Y'all ain't gonna traumatize my child. Because I remember as a kid, too. And a lot of the things I do as a mother, I remember me being afraid of the whole devil and you go into hell shit. There's fuck your head right up. And then I was an Anglican and Catholic school. So they tell me about purgatory. That fucked me right up.
Yes, I agree. And let me tell you, personally, what really upsets me.
Hey, Bernard. Oh, sorry, Greg.
My yeah, Bernard said earlier he loved this format. Yes, Bernard, for sure we gotta have you on. I did Bernard in Paris.
I think
Bernard,
he's
you in Paris? Let us know. But at least
That's
once you have internet connection, Bernard, we could have you on the show at any time. So we'll work it out. Definitely get you back on the show because Bernard did the show before.
Yes, that show was hot.
Yeah. That was another topic that is get the humans all they panties all up in a bunch. All they poke on is panty and Superman jockey.
Jockey, everything.
But yes,
why.
I have a confession to make. My daughter, who is 5 years old, is officially a Christian bully.
Oh, wow.
Explain that.
Christian. That. Let me explain.
Explain, Greg, because I think my child is one also.
Yes, I'll explain. My daughter always wants to get into religious debates and tell me about how I'm wrong.
At 5.
Although she has no evidence, no facts, nothing to bring, her whole thing is her teacher tell her this, her Grammy tell her this, all these other people tell her this, and so it's true, right? Yep. And she's even says, and I think I heard Keitra say that she said that her teacher told her that me and her, meaning me and Keitra, her parents, are going to go to hell because we don't believe in God.
Hell no!
No, they don't.
Child is.
And you pay school fees.
I'm gonna adjust my back.
And I say she's a bully because she now goes around. You know what she asked your son yesterday, Chrissy?
What did she ask my son?
She go on to Wayne and say, Wayne, you believe in God?
And what did Wayne say?
And I said, good thing I hear her because I say, listen, what you asking him that for? That is not your business. Stop doing that. She goes around and she asks people, she finds out what their belief is. I'm like, that is not your business, little girl.
Well, they do teach them to go out and preach the gospel. They little warriors for Christ.
That is a freaking problem, and I can't stand it. That gets me highly upset.
Yeah,
I agree. My daughter, she's also a Christian bully because everybody should know where we stand on religion at this point. And I'm vocal about it in my home. And she goes to NCA.
Well, Jesus, but child.
Indoctrination for life, right?
My goodness.
So occasionally she would come home and she would drop a couple of lines. Like I would probably curse around the house or stuff, and she'd be like, oh, if I don't do this or do that, I could go to hell. So, I would casually say to her, there's no such thing as hell. A man's hell is his grave. Mm-hmm. And so she would be like, it ain't no hell. You can find out.
Wow. And you see this? Let me just acknowledge. Look at this comment right here.
How old is your daughter?
Y'all see that comment? Look at this comment. Timeless Ashley is saying, amen. Go, Kaylee. Encouraging the bullying.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
Let me do Trapsy. It's K-A-Y. Sorry, let me stop. I have to stop trying to voice people who I disagree with. Sorry, Timeless.
But that's the attitude I'm talking about.
Yes,
people encourage them to bully you into believing.
And my mom knows where I stand as far as religion is concerned. And she knows that I'm not involved or I don't subscribe in any event. And so, but she encourages my daughter in the Christian faith because, she is of Christian belief. That's her religion.
Right. That's how come Wayne went to a Christian school because of his Grammy. That's what they do.
And to be honest, the only reason that my daughter was christened was because of my mother. My mother insisted that she be christened.
Wow.
And I was not for it. And honestly, if I was to have a second child, I don't think that my second child would be christened.
What's the purpose? What's the purpose of that anyway? Chrissy used the old one, right? Tell us where did this
your ass?
Tell us where this whole christening thing came from. Like, what is the purpose of the whole?
There are sacraments. If you are a believer in the Christian religion, there are certain sacraments, and holy baptism is one of them. Holy baptism, holy communion, Lord. And you know what? Lord, hold on, I had to say that. I just flashback. Ah! Sorry. So, holy baptism, we are supposed to bring our children to the font. Remember Jesus, when mothers of Salem, their children brought to Jesus. Remember that? Suffer the little children to come unto me. It's one of the rituals in the church. But I don't believe I will admit I was like Dakota. I only christened my child. But then again, when my mother showed me my christening dress that Wayne wore, I got a little emotional. I little wimpy.
Hold on, you say christening dress that Wayne what?
Yes, my christening dress.
Oh, your dress.
It was a dress because of me. For a boy, it's a frock, I think. But Wayne was baptized in the same outfit that I wore when I was baptized.
Boy in a dress.
Shut your ass, Greg. They're
I
boys.
thought God don't like
They wear frocks.
women
The
clothes.
priests wear a dime dress.
I thought God ain't into them tranny type wide.
Jesus wore a dress. But Greg, it's one of the rituals, and I think a lot of times what you see Kaylee going through, again, children are very impressionable.
Very much.
And the thing is, your child is already at a stage, because when Wayne was 5 and 6, he thought Samantha
They're
Sweeting at St.
sponges.
Anne's
They're
School knew
sponges.
everything. That is a stage they go through. The teacher know everything. But the fact that
Yeah.
she's asking people, I think if you chastise her when she asks Wayne, do you believe in God? You are making it into a big deal. It might just be in her 6-year-old mind that she's just curious and seeking. I think when we try to, because I know as a child like that, when Wayne would come and tell me, Mommy, if you do that, God can charge you. I'd be like, who taught you that shit? I mean, Wayne.
That's me right now.
Yeah, but you can't say that because, see, I've seen now Wayne is like super anti everything now.
Yeah.
But you want your children to question, but you don't want them to kick everything in the cupboard. So
But
even when she asked, what did Wayne say? I nosy.
say again.
What did Wayne say when Kaylee asked?
Immediately, so he didn't even get the answer. I didn't even give him a chance to answer.
Just snatch
Yes.
her head right
Greg,
off.
cut that right out. Quick. Greg, deal
But
with
Greg,
that.
she's in a school, and I told you, Greg, that's the problem you're gonna have. Unless you want to pay $4,000 a month, $1,000 a month for school, you're gonna find these schools that are very uber Christian.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to teach your children, because the Bahamas is an uber Christy nation.
Y'all say y'all mothers force y'all. This would force me right there. Y'all see Keitra say, you have to be Christian to get into good much schools. Now that's what she told me.
Church schools.
I don't know how true
Church
it is.
schools.
Church
And
schools.
Keitra is a good Anglican. And so,
Church
yes, church
schools.
schools, they do ask you.
Really?
They ask you that question. Greg, you live in a Christian Bahamas, and yes, it's
Yeah,
bullying.
But they are bigger bullies than I thought. So they would not allow your children in school if they have not been christened.
Well, I can only speak about the Anglican educational system. That was something you had to show your church affiliation. You had to answer. You had to talk about where your child was christened, because again, they are church schools.
That is ridiculous. But most of the schools are church schools, unfortunately.
Look at Andrew say. Read what Andrew said.
Even the government schools are basically church schools.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, because the government, again, we have to realize the nation that we live in. The Bahamas is almost a theocracy, except with the Shah and the Ayatollah them running around.
Uh-huh.
The Bahamas is very much a theocracy, even though we pretend it isn't. And so that is what you're going to get when you are in that circle, when you're in those schools. You're going to get that bullying to believe, and that's called proselytizing. A lot of Christians feel the need to beat you over your head and proselytize, and not just Christians, Muslims do it too. I was just walking down Pennsylvania the other day. The brother was like, "Assalamualaikum, my sister, my alaikum salam. Can I interest you in the final call on the beam pie?" I was like, "I'm good,
Whoa.
good."
Yeah, but let me tell you how serious the indoctrination at
They
NCA.
ain't bullies though. Don't say bully. Not the children. The adults, yeah.
They bullies.
Do you know that at NCA the curriculum itself is so Christianized that literally the textbooks are religion based?
Yes.
Right down,
NCA is famous for that.
Greg, right down to the science book.
Did you go to NCA, Dakota?
Hell no, I went to R and Bailey.
Let me ask
What
you.
made you send your child to NCA knowing that they are an uber Christian school?
I was just about to ask that.
This is the thing. When I sent her to NCA, my NCA's location and their curriculum was ideal. However, I knew that they had the ABECA system, but at the time, I wasn't aware that the ABECA system consisted of so much Christian indoctrination.
Where you been?
And
Well,
I did
NCA?
listen. I'm Chrissy, I didn't know that the science book was
Dakota.
talking about God. I did not
Because
know
you
this.
know. Well, see, because you
That's where I
young.
have a problem.
NCA is known for its, I mean,
Now,
serious
mind you,
stance.
I know that my daughter, she can't wear pants to school. The only time that they're allowed to wear pants to school is on the day of PE. That is it. And I once had a quarrel with the school because they told me I sent her to school with a tights on under her jumper, and they sent me a message back home to say that girls are not allowed to wear pants, and she can't wear pants under her jumper. And I said to them,
It's
y'all gotta
tight.
be out your goddamn mind.
Oh, Lord.
My child is wild. She will wear a tights under her jumper as long as I want her to do so.
But it's tights. How are tights pants?
Let me tell you how bad NCA is, right? I have
NCA
a friend.
is like
I
Uber.
have a
Lord,
friend.
all my friends can hate me who go to NCA.
My friend, and she's a teacher, and I think she was applying for a job there. Why they wouldn't hire her?
Because she had a child out of wedlock.
Because she was divorced before.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me. Well,
This
there
is
was a time in the Anglican church you couldn't get married if you were divorced. They
they
just changed that.
with that Christianity stuff.
Where you been? You know what, y'all ain't know the country y'all live in.
No, but I heard about NCA. That's why I would know. But again, but then there's a dilemma, Chrissy, because although NCA may be one of the worst ones when it comes to the religious
No, it
indoctrination.
isn't. There are others.
No, I said one of the worst. And I said the worst. I said
Okay.
one of the worst. Although they may be one of the worst when it comes to the indoctrination of Christianity, when you look at it, what options do you really have? And I think you said it earlier. There may be two, at most maybe three schools that you can, and
But
you
the
have
cost is prohibitive.
to be a millionaire or at least have be making about $500,000 a year to send your children to these schools. And
Well,
so
at
the
least 50
options,
grand.
the
Because
options
most
for us
schools,
that are not Christians are extremely.
you got to pay for it, Greg. You got
But
to
that,
pay. If you don't want Kaylee to be indoctrinated, you're going to have to pay for it. And the
exactly.
going rate is $1,000 a month.
And that is ridiculous. That
You asking me? Eh? Said
that
she who paid it.
we need more diversity and we need more people to speak
No,
about that because there are a lot of people that either don't believe or believe something else, but we then have to turn around and send our children into
we
these
have to expose them.
that are going to beat our children over the head with
Yes.
religion. And that is
You
an
go into hell. You go into hell if you don't believe this. And their
Yeah.
children, what else are they gonna believe?
Well, you know, people used to tell me that. Like when I used to have that argument, you're going to hell. I used to just mess payments up and I'd be like, I live in hell. I live in
Exactly.
Nassau, Bahamas.
Chrissy, my usual response is, honey, I'm already there. Hell doesn't scare me.
Child, look here. You know what the thing is, Greg? You have to have an understanding for where you live. The Bahamas is very much, and I don't understand why wearing tights is a problem. Thank you, Jared. I didn't want to say Temple Christian, but they little extra too. They little Temple Christian, little extra too. But again, it's called Nassau Christian Academy, Temple Christian. You see, when the C is
Yep.
there, you can expect the C.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, that's why I never send my child the one, but have it outright in the name. That's a loss.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a super loss. But still, again, that doesn't mean that you're gonna avoid it. You know what I mean? And I think you spoke to earlier about children being impressionable, right? This is
They
why
are.
this is why they insist on doing it during these stages because this is the time when people they would believe anything. They believe all the fantasy stuff that they watch, all of these little things. They believe anything, and so they have to beat it down in their heads from young because there's no way in hell you could get a grown adult that has never been exposed to religion or Christianity or any of these things to buy into that what I consider to be nonsense when it comes
That
to
ain't true. Look at how
No,
many
Greg.
missionaries are proselytizing all over the world. You have
I
grown
don't
adults who've been converted.
I don't agree, and Chrissy, because here's why. I think I've told this story before. I've grown up within Christian families on both sides of my families all my life. More so my mother's side, where my mother's now an elder in the church. She's been a deaconess, all of those positions. And so I come from a heavily religious family. And there were points in my adult life where I used to pray. And I ain't talking about just pray like our Father, Amen. I talking about on my knees, praying, crying,
That's what you
praying.
were taught. You were taught
And
that.
eventually, I got, however, I've always been one to question a system. I've questioned systems all my life, straight through high school. And it just occurred to me that, you know, I don't think that this makes sense. So I made it a point to delve deeper into why I don't think that this makes sense. Now, I never been a Christian. I could tell you that much. I never been saved, sanctified, and holy, even though I was forced to go to church 4 times a week all my life until I was about
Go ahead,
14.
Dakota.
Wow. 4 times a week.
They never put the olive oil on your forehead.
Listen, I've been olive oil done. I've been everything. But at the point when I decided to completely denounce any kind of religion and just believe freely and be open um, to alternatives, I was already a woman on my own. So when I said it to my mom, you know, she was at an age where she could only accept what it is that I choose to do. And that's one thing. I'm glad she's not that type of Christian where, oh my God, I gotta slap you with this Bible. Let's what you call it thing? You need a exorcist. No, she ain't that extreme. So she accepts, you know, that there are alternatives, and I explain to her why I believe what I choose to believe and why I choose not to believe, you know, what
Yeah,
they
well,
want
okay,
to
well, at
believe.
least she was open to that. A lot of
She was
times
twice
people,
because she knows I was always a rambunctious child. So I think, in her defense, I think that she may not have been really surprised, you know, that I rebelled against religion because I never liked church, and she knew that.
Well, just my parents didn't like church, and they still used to send us. I say all the time how they used to send us to church, but they never used to go.
they church not.
But yeah, exactly, deep. One is a
That's
pastor.
how they
But
go.
Christianity is not the only thing, and I see one of your listeners, Greg, is making a comment now because
Yes.
I remember the big argument where students wanted to wear religious clothing, but because it wasn't Christian clothing, they had a problem. One of the things I love about Jacinta Higgs School when they taught religion, my
Ah,
son knew about Jesus and Buddha and you know, Muhammad. I think that Christianity, because of the nation we live in, people tend to be so Christianity focused. But the thing is, if you're going to teach religion, it should be all the religions of the world. But
I
you
agree.
cannot tell these schools what their curriculum should be. Your
Definitely.
child, you have
My
to find a
issue.
school
My
that's
issue
gonna.
is there's no diversity, and
No,
usually
there's little diversity.
little, and I usually, and you know, I get head to head with people on Facebook on a usual basis, and it's always Christians, and I'm
Christians
often
intolerant, eh?
exactly, and I'm often accused of being right off the bat. I'm accused of being an atheist, automatic, because if you don't believe in God, you're an atheist, or if you don't believe in Christianity, obviously you're
You're
an
going to
atheist.
hell.
You
Yeah.
go into hell, and that's the number one thing. You got suffer when Jesus reach.
Yes.
And my thing is, why do you automatically assume that why do I have to be an atheist? You don't know if I'm Buddhist. You don't know what my preference of religion is.
Mhm.
You
Exactly.
understand? There's so many other religions. What makes your religion definite and correct and right?
Because
But
it's a
that's
competition.
one religion. That's when you were bully. They bullies.
They are
It is
bullies.
bullying. It is
Wrong.
bullying, but
Wrong.
it's
Wrong.
accepted.
I right, and this is what I say all the time. Me personally, I only place I feel religion has in school is to be taught so that because it's a reality. Religions exist, and you want to teach the children that listen. Okay, there are people that believe. Some people believe this. Some people believe this. Some people believe this. We call these religions
Right.
blah blah. So that when they travel, they have at least some degree of knowledge about religion.
Right.
But you shouldn't be teaching it as fact or some kind of
Yeah.
science thing in school. And if you
Greg, but you do, and people are
Created.
brainwashed from the cradle to the grave. My mother
Yes.
lost her passport in Dubai, in an Arab country. When the people find a passport, here my mommy, my aunt at the desk. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, Father Lord, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. The people in the Dubai hotel was looking at them like they was knocking
yeah,
futs.
and I good thing you said that. You know what? And I forget to tell you all how much of a bully my daughter is, right? You know what my child is do?
Oh,
5
Lord.
years old. She intentionally sings gospel songs very loud around me.
I believe her teacher fucking with you.
Intentionally
I mean, Craig, you
That's Kelly
lying.
homework. Fuck with
telling you she
daddy.
rubs it in
Check.
at every moment she gets.
Like
She
what?
uses it. And she
What
could
Kelly to sing?
I'm telling you this child is a bully and she 5.
What she sing? What she sing?
All kind of Christian
Like
songs.
what?
This
I
Which
is
don't
teacher?
even know them.
I know, for the Bible tells me so. All these, the usual nursery
But
rhyme.
Greg,
Oh,
they little children songs. That's what they just learn.
I
Kaylee is
know.
parroting and mimicking.
That's a problem, though. That's a problem for me. I have an issue with that. And we've already alerted all of the, well, not all of them, but the principal and the teacher
And what
that
do they say?
subscribe to Christianity. They was like, yeah, that's fine. We understand it. We get, yes, that's good. We're not going to do. Let me tell you how bad it is and how people
Stop
don't.
paying your school fees. See what happened.
Let me show you
exactly.
how people don't realize they bullying, right? I went to the class one time, and this while I was explaining to her, we don't subscribe to Christianity, so we don't want her to be forced to participate in prayer and all of that. And she is telling me, no, we don't force them to pray. While she is telling one of the students, put your hands together, hands together. Does she even realize that
No.
No, she
No.
doesn't. She doesn't, Greg. She doesn't.
you're telling me y'all don't force it while I'm watching
That's the
you
thing.
force it on the children?
Because she doesn't, but she doesn't feel as though she's
Brainwashing.
succeeding it.
That's a problem. That's a major problem.
Exactly.
When you
Brainwashing.
don't even realize what you're doing and you're doing it just naturally now, that is a huge problem. It was baffling. I was like, this woman.
And so
But
I
Greg,
would,
the
I
bullying
would
ain't
say
the change.
this is how I try to combat it. I mean, it's really, it's not something that you could definitely combat, but the way that I deal with it, especially knowing that she goes to a school that heavily indoctrinates the students. When we do have conversations, now she is a bully, so usually she would tell me that I'm wrong and she's right, you
Yes.
know. And so
At
what I
8.
say to her is, what I explain to her is, and I try to do this over and over whenever the conversation come up. I would say to her, and I say to her, if you choose to believe that Christianity is the right way, I will not stop you from believing that. However, at the same time, that does not make your belief correct.
Right.
People
Right.
have the option of believing something else. So if
Good.
mommy chooses to believe that Jesus is a fake story and it's a fairy tale, then that is my choice. And if you want me to respect your choice, you have to respect my choice. So I'm not against if she chooses to be a Christian, I won't take that from her. That's her choice because I've had my choice.
I
Right.
But,
I do the
but
same.
That's
at
a
the
good
same
way.
time, I want her to understand that you cannot bully someone into believing what you choose to go with.
But that's my thing, and here's the thing, right? And Dakota, I agree with every single thing
Lord. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
for that, and I believe in it wholeheartedly. But here's the problem, right? When you say someone has the choice to believe what they want, she is only being bombarded with one thing over and over, and everywhere
Yes.
she goes.
So it's not
Right.
really her choice.
Christianity has an unfair advantage to where they bully you in every aspect of your life until a certain age, and then want to tell you, well, you have the choice. But I mean, geez, you've already brainwashed them by the time they get to that age to make that decision.
Well,
So
that's because you hear, Greg. If you were living in Muslim countries, it'll be the same thing.
yes,
Because,
and, that's the same- and like I say, I'm not a fan.
stop watching these comments.
I'm not a fan of any religion. To be honest with you, I don't subscribe to any. So whether
Same here, Greg. Same here. I
Christian, whatever.
subscribe to none.
But we just happen to live in the Bahamas, which is why we focus on Christianity because that is
Yes.
the dominant religion. You understand? So we understand that it's Muslim. Matter of fact, in some Muslim countries, they are way worse bullies than we are here.
Right.
Yes,
That's what I'm
there are
telling you.
there are
That's what I'm
some
telling you.
religions. There are some religions that are way more. Well, we know for a fact there are religious extremists way on completely different levels from the Christians that we experience here. But I just can't stand the Christians that I is come into contact with who feel as though, you know what? Oh, Christianity is the way, the light, and the hope of God. And if you don't have that, you go into hell. You gonna die. We could die anyway.
Right.
Now, you don't know where we going when we die. I don't know when we going when I die. But I could take my chances with believing in nothing as opposed to believing that there's this man in the sky that has all this power to say to me, you know what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'm probably going to sin tomorrow, but you are going to hold it against me for sinning tomorrow when you know if you love me so much, you could stop me from sinning today. That makes no sense to me. That's
I,
ridiculous.
I agree.
Well, you can't. Sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Gussie.
No, you go.
Oh no, I was just going to some of the comments. That's why I tell you keep going because there's a lot of people commenting. And I just trying to get
Well,
it.
Greg, you out of
okay. Well,
focus.
I was always told when I had questions like you, and I started having these questions when I was about 18. I remember my good cousin, the Archdeacon, the late, great, venerable Archdeacon William Thompson said, Chrissy, your problem is that you're using your brain to intellectualize what you should feel in your heart.
Come
Now, I
on.
firmly believe, and I told Father Thompson, but God gave me a brain to use it, right? Now, a lot of the religious dogma that man invented and pulled out of his ass, especially the Anglican Church, where our church was started because Henry wanted to fuck some other bitch. Basically, you know, I always had a problem with it. But the tenets of Christianity, the love of God, the love of mankind, love your brother, love your neighbor, I think that's all great. But it's the religious stupidity, the dogma. Like, for example, to this day, I can't tell you why every time I say Jesus, I bow my head. To this day, I can't tell you. I just saw my mummy do it. I saw my granddaddy do it. I see everybody else around me do it. So some of the religious dogma may be silly, but some of the lessons of Christianity make a lot of sense.
Well, I agree. And I tell you, like I said, like I say to people, I don't want people to ever believe that I'm against the message. It's not the message that I'm usually
I
about.
against
It's
messages.
the messengers
Some of them
that
messages.
I have an issue with.
Especially them flawed messengers.
It's
Oh,
just
You know what I like? I like Mama, right? Mama done had 11 children for 12 different men. And then Mama find Jesus.
and
Mama
then
used to
you want to
find
tell
how to
me,
close her fucking leg.
and
how,
then you
And then
could,
they want to tell you about your life.
how
and
come
then you want to tell me I hoe.
Yeah, I just be like,
Bitch,
like
what?
some of the women in the church. This one lady, right? The Lord be with you. I'd be like, you forget you used to fuck that man all his life, eh? Bitch, sit down. The Lord be with you too. Oh, my phone
Exactly.
dying. Hold on, let me get my charger. Hold on.
get it, Sandra. But yeah, that's what I have a problem with. And I saw someone saying, "Well, Greg, you better homeschool your child." I hear you, but it shouldn't be this way. And like I said, maybe we need to start to advocate for more diversity when it comes to the schooling system, because I doubt they're going to take Christianity out of the schools. That's
Yeah,
going to be a super long, hard fought battle that I don't know we'll be able to win.
yeah.
But perhaps we can get more diverse schools that don't focus on religion so much and focus on what they're gone there for, which is education. How about science?
Exactly.
How about math? How
And
about
see, and my thing is, Greg, if you are going to teach religion, I think either you or Chrissy mentioned this earlier. If you could teach religion, don't just teach me about Christianity.
right?
I would appreciate if you taught me, my child about various religions and why various religions are important and
Right.
the history of various religions.
Right.
Give them options, but don't just say, take this pill, stuck
Yeah.
it down your throat. You don't need no water. You
No.
could be a Christian today.
Yes. And I wholeheartedly. And that's
Sorry
one of
about
my
that, y'all.
no problem. That's one of my major issues with the bullying. And also another form of bullying. This ever happened to you, Dakota, which I'm sure it has. But when people find out what it is, like if they find out either you're atheist or you're not a Christian, it's like you get all the invitations to church. Why you don't come to the church with me, man? They insist that you go to church with them, and they would keep asking you, no matter how much times you say, "That's good, I'm fine, no, I won't go." They continue to ask you. Has that happened to you?
Yes, of course. Even my family, even my family members that are in close proximity to my age, whenever a religious conversation comes up, well, I'm the first name they call it. Say, well, anyway, Keisha, she don't believe in God, so she ain't coming to church. I'm like, you damn right, I ain't coming. No, I ain't coming.
Right.
If you ain't getting married, if there's not gonna be food and drink after, I'm not coming.
Yeah,
Forget it.
I've been getting those. And now some people just don't even bother with me, but I don't want to call their name, but someone in particular was being a bully.
Call their name.
Insisting that we come to church. No, I ain't calling him. I ain't calling him. But they were insisting that we come to church. Come, yeah, man, come. And they even try to deceive me with some kind of competition in the church when it comes to bringing people and all of that stuff. So there are many ways that Christians bully you or try to bully you into believing what it is they believe. The one, like I said, I have the biggest problem with is the indoctrination of it in preschools and those early stages of development. I hate that it's indoctrinated into our school system. It puts everyone at a disadvantage, and it starts you off, in my opinion, on the wrong path.
And in fair, Greg, Charmaine, I have a message for you.
What the
Oh,
message?
I just read that. I just read that. That blow me away.
Let me stop. I have to
Let me
stop
read
doing
it. Let
that.
me read it. Let me read it. It says, Bahamas, don't go down this road. Y'all see what happened to schools in the U.S.? Religion walk out and the devil walk in.
Not even God, religion.
Rich.
Okay, Shaman. Okay. Also, I didn't give out the numbers. Listen, people, y'all can call and join the conversation. The number is
Yes, please call. Y'all don't never call.
804-804-5219. I especially calling on Charmaine Brown with her nice
Please
hairdo in this
call.
picture. Charmaine Brown, please call us and elaborate on that because I wanna learn today, and I think you have some information to give. I'm just confused by your message. I'm not sure. You have to get a little more specific, or as Bahamians say, Pacific, and explain to me what does that mean. Bahamas, don't go down this road. You'll see what happened to school in the U.S. Religion walk out and the devil walk in. Now, did he walk in with his full red suit, horns, and all, pitchfork? You got to explain that one for me,
I
Shaman.
hope it was latex because I like latex.
This ain't no damn Avengers movie.
Yes.
Hey, latex.
Please call us and explain, Shaman, because I want to know when it was the devil walked into schools and how come it did not make the news. I didn't see it. I was not aware that the devil started attending school. Please,
Greg, stop it.
please let me. No, I am only repeating what she said. I don't know what she said. She has to explain. So please call us and explain how the devil enrolled into schools in the
You
United States.
know, the bullies are winning because, even though we say, oh, the Bahamas is a Christian nation, and if the majority, if not, I would dare to say 85% of the population subscribe to the Christian faith. There are a lot of people that I come across who, in confidence, of course, confide in the comfort of private conversation to say that, well, Dakota, I don't really, I don't really believe in. That much.
Mhm.
And they don't have the courage to say it in any kind of public format, be it a Facebook status or just they don't have the courage to say it out loud, period.
Mhm.
However, there are a lot of people similar to us that a lot of people are unsubscribing from religion entirely, but they do not have the courage to come out and say, I do not subscribe.
Because of the
Okay.
they don't want to
Because
get
of the backlash.
yes, they know what's going
Yes,
to happen. They know what's
Remember
going
when
yes,
Greg
of
was on
course,
my show? Greg was attacked when he came
of
out and
course.
said,
I'm often attacked, Chrissy. That shit just don't phase me. I tell you, my family members, they attack me too. They be like, "Oh, you don't believe in God, this and that." Don't see you, and they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear. Like, people have become so comfortable with the cushion that religion gives us because you know if you want to refer to the human psyche, it gives you something to hold on to. It gives you hope. It gives you this feeling that there is something surreal and bigger than you. And for human beings, for some people, that's important.
yeah, we
I
need
don't know.
that.
I don't know if maybe I crazy, but
No,
I
we need
don't
that.
need that.
Mhm.
You
I
know, I don't need the cushion to believe that there is
You don't
something
believe in
big.
a power higher than yourself?
Chrissy, to a certain extent, I believe that there's a lot going on in the human world. I would say that I don't believe that we are the only beings that exist in this ridiculously huge universe that we are just
I
a
agree.
speck in.
Yeah. Earthlings are very arrogant to think they're the only ones.
I think
You
someone
know,
trying. I think someone trying to help Charmaine explain here. Let's see. She have a interpreter here. Let's see. They said not literally because of stopping prayers in school. Maybe she is saying chaos took over. I guess that was what was meant in the previous.
right.
Now,
Monique's right.
now that's more detail. However, you have to back that up with some evidence. Give us some facts. Give us some actual events. Because let's look at it. The U.S. on a whole, I'm sure their murder rate is much lower than ours. The big Christian church
Per capita.
per capita. That's the only way
Yes.
you can judge it. That's the only way you can judge it fairly. That's the only way you can
Right.
judge it fairly is per capita. They have less murders than us per capita. They have less rape than us per capita. So what when we need the devil to walk in on us too, because our numbers might go down. I don't know what's going on here, but so when you say these statements, you have to back them up with something, with some tangible evidence to prove that what you are saying is correct. You cannot just say that based on your feeling or your belief, or you take one event that may have taken place over there and try and say, oh, this place is terrible. It's a terrorist place. You
But
gotta.
most of the people who
Wrong, Greg.
shooting up school and churches profess
You're
to be
wrong.
Christian. So that's
This is why
crazy.
this is why you're wrong, Greg. Because we live in a country where we're susceptible to hurricanes. And you know what? If we all get together and all of the prayer warriors come together and we pray hard enough and our knees bleed well enough, the hurricane will curve away.
And go
Try the
somewhere else.
movement.
Dakota,
And
I
hurt those other people.
you see my shirt, Dakota, because that was beautiful just now. That
The
was
religion, again,
that was incredible sarcasm.
religion makes you a little cuckoo, but I believe the tenets of Christianity are good. And while, like in your daughter's case, they're going overboard with what they're teaching her,
Yes.
a lot of the tenets of Christianity are good. Do unto others, love your fellow man,
Mm-hmm.
do the right thing. But then that's just not Christianity. That's most religions of the world.
I'm so glad you said that, and that's what I don't like is when people attribute those good things like that, like Christianity invented that, like that come from Christianity,
Yes.
and you have
Christianity is the latest religion. Islam and Judaism, way before.
matter of
Yes.
fact, people who have no religion have these qualities.
You
They,
know what? You know what we need in the Bahamas? We need
What?
some damn Jews.
We have Jews in the Bahamas, boo.
Yeah, but we don't have enough. Where I don't have a Jewish friend in the Bahamas. We need some
You
Jews
sure?
to infiltrate this religion mechanic that we have going on, and then I would want to see how Bahamians would react. Because you know the issue with Bahamians, all they know is Christianity. Literally, they haven't been exposed to anything else.
And
They
that's the problem.
the closest thing to an alternative religion that we have that people are actually exposed to is, I would say, Rastafarianism.
Right. And
Mm,
you remember the backlash with that. You know, and Bahamians always backlashing when the Rastafarian camp came out. Andrew got a nice message for you, Greg.
what's that?
When the Rastafarian camp was having services, when the mosque was being built on Carmichael Road, because we're
Mhm.
so xenophobic in our thinking, and we only believe Christianity again, the way, the truth, and the light. That's the way, the truth, and the light for you if you're Christian.
Right.
We forget that there are other expressions to God. And I think sometimes, because we're a small country as well, the conversation tends to be very small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I agree completely. Now let's address this issue that happened last week, right? I'm sure you all know about it. The issue in Grand Bahama, where a particular store owner decided that she was going to fire her employee because she did not attend her church. It is a requirement that you attend her church in order to be employed at this establishment. Your thoughts on that, Christina?
Oh, I go first?
Yes.
Let me look in the camera. Dear Susie Darville, you're fucking nuts.
I saw that,
seriously.
and I tagged Greg in it because when I saw it, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous.
I
And
couldn't
you know,
believe it.
I couldn't, because the issue for me is there's a time and place for everything, and for me that's something that Bahamians don't seem to get. There's a time and place for everything, and the professional arena is not a place for you to insert your personal beliefs into, because then you open the door for people to bring all sorts of personal things into the professional arena.
Yeah,
That's
that,
what you
that
have
was
to be
crazy.
prepared for.
That didn't make any sense to me.
That's what me and Chrissy discussed last week, is that separation. You must be able to separate.
Never gonna happen in the Bahamas. Never.
Anyone who can't separate that is nuts.
But that's never gonna happen in the Bahamas.
But it begs the question, because we spoke about discrimination earlier in the school system when it comes to hiring and other things. So how often does this take place, this discrimination against
All
people
the time. Ask
Yeah.
anybody who goes to government school and want to wear. Therese talked about it, wearing hijab on your head in the government schools. Remember that was a big, big, big fight a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
are
I do recall.
intolerant.
Me.
somebody call it.
All right, get your call, boo.
Yeah. All right, she's back. Yeah, but that's it begs the question because that one made news. That one was highly publicized. Well, at least on social media, I know it made
That made no sense. And the fact that people were justifying, I see her son came out to justify.
really. What did he say?
Well, he basically said his mother had nothing to do with the business anymore, and the young lady misinterpreted what was said.
Hold on, the young lady that was fired misinterpreted what was
Yeah,
said.
she misinterpreted it.
Really now,
Yeah.
really now.
The things that happen in this country. And let me be, and like I did on my show. On my show, I was extra stink, right?
Hmm.
Dear Susie, you Vietnamese, boo? How you get so uber Christian though? Oh, don't let me guess. They proselytized and converted you.
Reason. I've never, but like I said, it begs the question: how often does this really go on?
Greg, that happens all the time.
But,
All the
but,
time.
but it's unconstitutional. There's some way that has to be some way that we can take action against people doing these things. Like what now happens to the lady that did that?
Nothing, because that's her store. It's a private business. And I guess she'll have to continue with her lawsuit. Wasn't her father next to her saying that they were gonna
Well,
take it to court?
I hope they do go through with it because it is something that needs to be. Let's go down here.
What the fuck are they fucking calling me format?
Okay.
How you really feel to go?
Hey,
Yes.
so Dakota,
They calling to convert you.
let me see. Okay, we have another
Power
one.
of Christ compels you, Dakota.
Hold on one second. Let me put you down there 1 second, Dakota. Whenever I slide Dakota back up, it looked like we just disappear. I know what's going on with that. Dakota looked like she was in two phones. She got
Hmm.
Dakota. You good? All right. Okay, so, Chrissy, yes. Let me give my thoughts on that whole situation.
Of course, I want to hear your thoughts. You know
Now,
that.
again, you know I'm big on separating your religious beliefs from your professional career. Yeah, especially in politics. We discussed that last week. That's my major issue is when you bring your religion into our politics and our policies and our laws. Because that is
Now
when
I gotta try to
when
get
majority rule.
But it's a private business. Even though her husband is a senator, it's a private
Now,
business.
here's the thing. This is the funny part now with private business, and I look at it from different perspectives, right? I try to be broad in my perspective when it comes to this issue on private business because I do have a business, and so I look at it from many angles. And
Right.
I feel if you have your own private business, you should be able to hire who you want, right?
Right.
Now, I don't agree with discrimination based off of religion, sex, all of these other things. I don't subscribe to that. However, I do believe that if you want the best for your business and you want to hire the people that you feel is going to, bring the best or offer the most to your company.
Right.
So I agree with that aspect that people should be able to hire who they want. Now, do I feel as though your religion or what church you go to should be a requirement? I don't see how personally that makes your business more profitable, how it makes it a better run business, a better operated business. I don't see that. So I don't get this lady is, whole insisting that you go to her church or our church or whatever you bring your letter. I don't get that. But
Because according to her,
I
as
do
a
get
pastor.
that businesses have to hire who they feel are best for the company. That's how I feel on it. I feel the Grand Bahama issue was nonsense. I don't think it should have taken place. And like I said, I hope they do go through with the lawsuit, and I hope she is dealt with for that because it is wrong, in my opinion.
Well, she broke some labor laws as well. I'm sure, uh, freedom of
Hello?
religion. Freedom of religion is a part
One
of it. You
second.
cannot
Are we still
discriminate.
there? Hold on one second. I
You
got
can't
to
hear
check
me?
the feed. Looks
Okay.
like we have frozen. One second.
I see you good.
Chris, you still there? I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I see you.
One second here. Okay, bear with us, people. Just having technical difficulties here. Just looking at the screen. It's frozen, and I can no longer hear Christy, so I'm just going to check here to make sure we are still live.
We are.
All right. Okay, we live on Facebook, but in my program it's frozen. Okay, so let's just keep going. Hold on, wait. I have to make sure I can hear Chrissy. Though. That's the issue.
Can you hear me? I can hear
Chrissy,
you.
can you
very
hear me?
well. I can hear you well. Yes, I can. Let me send you a note. Yes, I can hear you, Greg. I can hear you.
Okay, one second. I can't hear you. What to do? Let me go ahead and I'll close the program out.
Okay.
I can't hear you at all. Let me go down. I got add you back, and hopefully I'll be able to hear you then.
Okay. Add me back.
All right, let's see. All right, I added you back up. Come on. Come on. Yeah, no, I still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on now.
I hear you.
Okay, people, give me about a minute. Let me figure this thing out. Let me get this thing together. I don't know why I can't hear Chrissy. I'm looking on my phone. I can see and hear us both quite fine on the phone, but for some reason the program that I'm actually using to run the show is frozen and I can't hear what Chrissy is saying. So give me a few seconds. Let me just try to get Chrissy back onto the actual program so I can hear and we could continue. No, it ain't that. For some reason, I think what happened was when Dakota got knocked off, she was trying to add herself back, and it kept adding like multiple windows for some reason, and then the program, I guess, just froze up. I restarted it. So what to do? Go back to the link and try and join again, because only me on the show now. But go back to the link and then let me try add you back to the show.
Okay.
All right. All right, people, I got the program back up, just waiting for Chrissy and Dakota to join back on. But you guys, don't forget, you can call as well. If you want, you can add to the conversation because we have a lot of comments. We have over 300 comments. You guys obviously have a lot to say on this topic. So please go ahead and call us. 804-5219 is the number if you want to contribute to the conversation that we're having. 804-5219. Please call us. We want to hear what you have to say. Okay, I can see you. There we go. And I can hear you. Good to go now. All right, so people, go ahead. Yes, call us 804-5219. You all commenting like crazy. You all typing like Kermit in these comments. Over
I know.
We appreciate it. But we want to hear your voices. We want to hear you. We want more context. You know, only so much you could type. So please call us 804-5219. I want a Christian call us too. Someone who believes that they should be able to indoctrinate our children in school. Dakota,
I back.
All right,
Greg,
everybody.
Judo.
Wonderful. All right, we back up and running now. Yes, I was just saying about my piece. You heard what I said about the Bahama Christian.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do about when Kaylee starts? Where Kaylee is so we can sing "Jesus Loved the
I
Little
was just
Children."
about to eat some chicken.
What you gonna do, Greg?
What I
What you
said
gonna do?
what?
Because there are people in this same predicament watching you now.
Uh-huh. Well, let me tell
What are
you,
you gonna
like,
do?
I'll continue to be steadfast in my belief, or my lack thereof belief in Christianity, and I will continue to let her know that, listen, this is something that people believe. It is not true. It is not the right thing. It is just something that people subscribe to and they choose to believe. You can't
Okay.
go
Factual.
around bullying people and forcing them to believe what you believe or believe that what you are saying is correct, especially when you cannot present any evidence to prove these things that you are claiming or saying that are true. So please refrain from
Okay.
bullying your belief onto other people. And I also tell her the only reason you believe this is because they told it to you.
Your teacher, but also I need you and Dakota to be as the elder in the group. Be a little patient, because Kaylee's what 6. Dakota, your baby is what 9. You got to
Hey,
realize that they're only mimicking what they're hearing. I understand as parents who feel the opposite, you may want to, uh, stop their questioning, but it isn't questioning with malice attached. Asking someone if they believe in God, that
Oh,
could just be curiosity.
you know what, Chrissy? You know what? You say that right. And I would love for you to be correct, you know. I would love if you were right.
I
you see,
am.
Greg knows Kaylee.
I
Greg
don't,
knows Kaylee hot.
whenever we round you again, I hope she decides to do what she does, and you tell me if it ain't no malice
No,
intent.
no. It's just, we know Kaylee is very precocious. Okay,
Yes.
Kaylee says some things that just you would be like, what? But I don't, like I said, I think because of your views as the parent, you may be ascribing a little too much, I don't want to say intellect, but you're ascribing a little too much feeling to what they're saying. They could just be asking an innocent question. Wayne, do you believe in God?
Chrissy, Chrissy,
Look at Greg. Greg is like,
stop that. Stop that. Stop that. That is nonsense. I ain't no dummy. I may have been born in the day, but not yesterday. All right. I
no,
know.
Greg.
I know my child. Trust me. I ain't no fool.
I just
This
think
ain't
y'all could lighten up a little bit.
this. If you don't answer this the right way, I am about to bash and tell you about how you are wrong. That's what kind of.
Sing,
March you down.
I could sing Jesus Loved the Little Children. That's the song, though. Come on. Y'all don't like that song?
No,
Red and yellow, black and white. They are precious in it. I love that song.
that's a
That
good.
hymn.
It has some good parts. That's some good voice.
Yeah.
That's some
Meaning what no matter who you are, you precious in the sight of the Lord.
and the
Some
side of
say Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Krishna, whatever you want to call it.
they don't say none of them. Don't try that. They say
I just
Jesus.
think y'all need to lighten the hell up.
No sir. No sir. I ain't lightening up.
Greg.
She don't be like
Greg, you can't refer to your 5-year-old as a Christian bully.
she is a
She
Christian.
is. It's factual.
Yes.
Dakota, your 8-year-old is not a Christian bully.
She's a
Whoa.
They are
Trust.
parroting what they hear
right.
people who
Which
are in
was bullying.
authority say.
They were taught bullying, and so they are repeating the bullying that they were taught.
They repeat the vicious cycle, Chrissy.
Yes.
I
And
can see the kid now. You know, me and Wayne is imitate Kaylee. You believe in God? You know, Kaylee like that. Miss Chrissy, you? Oh,
listen, I had to shut that down right away. Right away. But like we said last week, right, Chrissy, it spills over into our laws and our policies,
yes, it does.
culture, and this
That's
is
when it's annoying.
but this is where it starts.
But they know better.
This
They are
is-
grown ass people.
You know, they like we were like the example earlier where I told you the teacher didn't even realize she was forcing the children. They don't
Close your eye, fold your hand.
they don't even realize what they are doing. And when we have these discussions, like when it comes to gender equality, marital rape, these
Yep.
important issues, and you hear all of the religious nonsense just spilling into the conversation, and we'll
Um,
never be able to move or progress because they have been indoctrinated with these
True.
things, and this is what they subscribe to and believe, and they ain't letting you knock them off, and they bullying you. That's what it comes down to. That is the
Yeah, it
majority
is, but it's
over the minority. That is real majority rule, and that's
Yep.
what we experience.
Well, I just think that we have to realize, there was a saying in the United States years ago, I think it was the 80s, the moral majority is neither. We have to realize that your morality, you handle that how you want to handle it, but you cannot convert and proselytize unless you're a missionary. That's why I think Susie Christian, because they went to Vietnam and Christianized it. Anyway, you cannot go around forcing people, beating them with the stick of religion. Okay? Let me look at your actions and
Bahamian
go,
way.
you know what? I want to be that kind of person. Let your actions show that you are Christian and kind and decent. Don't be beating me over
Chrissy,
my damn head.
did you not see me preach this sermon on Facebook this
Yes, I
week?
did. I saw you preaching. Allah
Let
shata
your
kantata.
actions.
Uh-huh.
Don't speak about it, be
Yes,
about it.
be about
Mind
it.
you, people think that I have this big issue when it comes, people think that I'm this religion hater and basher. That's
Yeah,
not the case, you know.
they
I
do.
subscribe to the message that the Bible brings because most of them, a lot of them, you can apply to your everyday life if you're on a quest to be a better person,
Right.
you know, you can utilize that and you can reflect on the message that sometimes the Bible brings. My issue is when you out here quoting scripture every day, all the time, and then you still rubber dubbing on the side and
Well,
you want to
that's
be
the
a bitch on the
Christianity
flip.
way because Christianity gives you a bly absolution. People do shit. Oh, forgive me, Father, if I have sinned. You go do shit again. Forgive me, Father, if I have sinned. You do
And
shit.
then
Christianity
my other
allows you to
issue
do
is
copious amounts of shit.
Yep.
you have the audacity and then on the next end you have the audacity to assume, and I think overall my biggest issue of Christianity or anybody who is an extremist in the Christian
Right.
faith is the issue of morality. You are on this pedestal of being this wholesome and
But you're not.
moral
Because
person
the church
because
is
you
not for
are a
saints.
Christian, and I'm not. I'm this, no good, bad, quote unquote, woman because I don't subscribe to the followings of Jesus Christ,
We
which
all
is,
fall short. But you could subscribe to other followings. Buddha has great teachings. Muhammad has great teachings.
I
And
will
your
tell you
life should be a sermon lived, not a sermon preached.
exactly. And
I'm out here saying it again.
I appreciate some of the teachings of Buddhism. I just ain't about that bowing down to some wife on a mat. That ain't
You
my,
don't want genuflect on the second bell?
you
Like right
know,
now,
that
if I
ain't
go
my
in St.
thing.
Agnes right now, when I
But
hear that
the,
second bell, genuflect.
but
That's some
as
training for your ass.
the same with the Bible as with Buddhism, I appreciate the teachings that they bring because Buddhism is all about being a better person. It's all about living a full
All
life.
religions are. All
Yeah.
religions are. It's just
And
that
so,
man has messed
Hold on
things up.
now. Hold on now. You're now see. I think you're giving religion a little too much credit.
No,
You're
man-made dogma has made it crazy.
okay. You're only focusing on the good now, because yes, that is a part of just about all religions. But you
Yeah, but they did some shit too. Watch Greg bring up the Inquisition.
no, I'm just being honest. You can't just put out one and say, well, this is what it is. No, you have to take it all, and not all of it is good. You have
I agree, Greg.
a lot of people that well religions that separate people, a lot of violence, a lot of
Yeah.
hate. There's a lot of negativity in all religions,
I
Yes.
well, and
agree.
we
I
can't just
agree.
gloss over it. Now, what you can
Yes.
say is, you can say that, well, the way I approach it is, I look at it and I take the good away from it, or what I see to be the good from it, and I apply those things. But you
Yes,
can't
Right.
same.
these religions represent this thing and ignore the other part that it does,
Oh
because that's
no, I don't. Our intention was not to ignore. We were just focusing on, what we take, the
Right.
good that we take from it, and how we utilize it, and not
Right.
being all around. Oh, I just completely no religion for me. Put a stamp on it, put it in a box, and send it somewhere where I
And
don't
that's
have to
your
deal with
choice
it.
if you believe that as well. I just think
Exactly.
sometimes Bahamians, and especially, and I'm not trying to be judgy, although I am Judgy McJudgerson, a lot of times we paint ourselves, yes, I'm judging you, damn it. We paint ourselves to be these paragons of virtue, and it is so untrue.
Yes.
You cannot be the former. And again, Christ, in Christ, you are a new creature. Christianity tells us that. But don't go proselytizing and putting yourself on this pedestal. Okay?
Exactly.
Like I have a
Exactly.
friend who's a former cokehead, and he act like he more Christian than Jesus. Okay?
But
But
Jesus was
he's
a Christian
saved
brother.
now.
Jesus was Jewish. Yeah,
He's
Jesus.
sorry.
saved now. But
It's just like
I
in the
do
Bahamas.
agree,
Yeah,
Greg.
but you have to, I think we have to be realistic. A lot of times, so many people are so out of touch with reality. That's why I tell you, Greg, when Kaylee asked that question, there's not really malice attached to it per se. It's an opening question.
I disagree.
Like them people who
Again,
cutting you down
again,
track. Greg know
again.
his
But
daughter.
I do agree
we
with
can
Greg
disagree
that,
on
as
that.
far as religion, I think it's safe to say that more people have lost lives and loved ones to religion than
Oh yeah, look at
than
families being
drugs.
broken up. I
Yeah,
know people
I,
who have
I had
allowed the
someone.
church to separate them from their children.
I had
That's
someone say.
crazy.
Someone told me she watches the show. I can't remember her name right now, but she told me, listen, say her mother cut her off because
Right.
she,
Get
you know,
pregnant?
from Christianity, not get pregnant.
Yeah.
And it's so bad. I think she lives in the States now. And I think she couldn't take it. So she went to the US because, this Christian country she couldn't take. And
Yeah. I
whenever she
understand that.
calls the home, if her mother answers the phone and hears it's her, doesn't say a word to her, puts the phone down and tells her father to phone for you.
Well, her
Wow, I've
mother
heard
is a
that.
jackass.
I've
That's
heard that.
right.
And
Yeah, I know of
I'll
many
tell you,
stories like that. Her mother is
JWs,
stupid.
JWs, they're the same way. Like
Oh, no, she can say
if
JWs.
you
Look where you
commit
going.
What is a
if you
JW?
committed an
Greg, what's a
Jehovah's Witness,
JW?
Jehovah's
I'll give
Witness?
you a clue. I'll give you a
yes,
clue, Greg. Get down.
if you
Saturday
committed
morning.
if
Get
you
down.
commit if you sin or you committed in a sinful infraction within the church, they what is the word? They ostracize you, they put you out of the church. And they
Shun.
also
Shun.
expect for your parents, they
Oh,
They
expect for your
shun you.
family to ostracize you as well.
oh,
Yeah,
no,
well, look,
oh,
Scientology does that.
well, that's what I'm saying, Chrissy. Now, again, Chrissy, we know all them have some bad things, but we in the Bahamas, whereas Christianity is the dominant religion.
Yes.
I see you trying to, you're trying to cape for your people, but here's,
Who? Not major.
you, I see you trying to throw your cape on. Now, I see you cost me lose my train of thought, man. There was some a point I wanted to bring up on something, but go to say just now, Dread.
And you were so excited.
Yes, I was excited because I wanted to say it so bad, man, but Chrissy kept throwing me off, man.
I said not me.
Damn it, man. And it was such a good
Not
one.
not that's you being trapped. See, that's the
Oh,
Lord. Take that out your mouth.
it was genuine, man.
Where Kaylee is? Let me call Kaylee.
Kaylee prayers working.
Kelly in here.
Kaylee prayers working, buddy.
Kelly got,
Kaylee in the closet with her prayer cloth.
yeah, she got in the body. She in here. But that's what we dealing with in this country. Us non-believers, we have the struggle of trying to present some form of balance or context for our children when they are constantly being bombarded in schools, when they go around relatives, everywhere else they go outside of the home, they are bombarded with
Mhm.
something else. And so in their minds, in their little minds, they're like, man, my daddy got to be wrong because everybody else saying the same thing. So he's
Exactly, Greg.
wrong.
That's my
My
position.
place. I'm wrong because in her life, I'm the only person saying this thing, or me and her
We're
mother.
the odd man out. We're the odd man out, Greg.
But you're the parent.
And we know in this day and age, it's not who is right, or it's not what's right, it's what's popular. And so people tend to believe what most people believe, whether it's right or not. And that's what I'm dealing with. That's the problem that we have. And I want to work towards getting away from that issue. And I think we'd be so much better off as a country on the whole if we can have some form of balance when it comes to that aspect, because it leads to so many different things in our society stem from that same thing, which is religion. Religious.
You gotta change that school, boo. That's the first step.
But then to go where? We don't have $4,000 a term to send our children to school, Chrissy.
Hello.
I know.
You know what I mean? So what are you to do?
We should just make our own schools.
Schools. There are other schools.
We may have to do that. We may have to do that.
Serious?
And I
There are
saw,
other schools.
I think Shah is watching. She commented earlier. I think she just started her school. I don't think Shah has any religion in her school. I'm gonna have to talk to her a bit more about that. Perhaps probably have a show on that to see. She does have a school, and I don't think religion is, in there. I'll have to speak to her. I'm not sure. I don't want to say certain, but I'll speak to her about it. But
Christianity or religion must be practical. I think sometime we forget the practical aspects of Christianity, especially in the Bahamas. It must be
Well,
practical.
what are those things? How do you be practical with Christianity?
Well, you have to realize that there's more than just you in the world. Yes, you may believe in Jesus, but there's more than just you in the country. There are people who believe other things. And yes, even though, you may be a school, especially in that case where Kaylee's school is an outright church school, but they have some affiliation, but that doesn't mean you have to proselytize every child. You don't have to do that. Let the child be. These are children. Let them be.
And here's the thing: I see Shah saying if you try too hard to make her an atheist, it could have the reverse effect. If you tell her that
Right.
everyone is entitled to her own beliefs, she'll come around eventually.
And
That's
plus, she's sex.
But that's exactly what I do, Shah. I don't try to make her an atheist. I don't try to make her anything. What I do is I try to say, listen, child, if you come into me with these things and attacking me, you better have some evidence to prove it. Right.
Yeah,
She's
but
sex.
I don't care how old you are.
Here, how old I said, no, listen, this is what we don't do in this country. We don't prepare our children for life.
Greg, prepare her for the real world.
I preparing my daughter for real life soldier. You
Give her a
understand?
counterpoint.
And
Don't
so,
tell her, don't ask nobody that. Give her a counterpoint.
no, but I did that because I do believe that that is private. That is not your you don't ask, you don't have to know nobody religion. Why are you asking them that? What's your
But be honest now, the question a child will ask you at 5, you are willing to take it differently than when a grown ass person asks you that question. A lot of times our children, and Greg, you are blessed with a precocious little girl who's very curious. Child, some of the things Kaylee say to me, I'd be like, "Arr?" You
No,
know?
Chris, I don't agree. Because my daughter 8, and sometimes she's asked people questions and they be shame.
Well, the thing is, I think you have to give your children the words to use to try and get the information they're seeking. And sometimes children are going to be politically incorrect. They don't have that skill
Oh,
yet. They don't have that
oh yeah.
filtering.
No, I agree. I agree. That's true. But
Yes.
you don't have
Greg say, don't ask him that.
that like the, what no I ask
Greg,
I
they can't
don't
take
ask
it.
that, I ask her what you asking him that for.
Because she want to know.
That is not your business.
Y'all ain't read Andrew comment. Andrew
Look at
say,
Andrew running right out. I've
Uh,
been ignoring Andrew's comments.
yeah, we know
And
our
I got to, can I say
Andrew
hi to my
say,
Uber Christy friend who's watching? Greg, you got my American friends watching you. She
yes.
and
Andrew
I have
say,
many discussions about religion all the
why,
time.
Why she ain't call
say,
us back?
I don't believe in
Now,
Jesus,
she
but
ain't,
he
she ain't
have
gonna call
fought
it. She the
for
word.
fun to eat.
Andrew is run right down out. Oh, Lord, where he come from?
Hey,
Only
let
every
me just
show.
let me just tell Andrew. Listen, Andrew, I run a business and I want to be successful.
Hello. Don't be like Miss
Exactly.
Darvel.
Exactly. So I do what's
No,
good.
Miss Darville was crazy. Miss Darville carries it. There are extremism in Christianity, in Islam, and Buddhism. Whenever people go cuckoo, religion does set some people
You know,
crazy.
the Spanish
Miss
girl
Darville, what
too.
Miss Darville did to that young woman, I hope she pay her back all her money in back pay
Yes, that is ridiculous.
and pay for her legal fees.
I think you mentioned the son earlier. I think what he was trying to do, that was the cleanup campaign. He was trying to.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying to
think
help you,
he
mommy.
called
When
for.
your mommy do shit, you
Yeah,
try help her.
yeah. So he
Yeah.
was doing what was good for business at that time. I
Yeah, and plus, like
knew.
you said, because a couple of my friends are saying they'll never step foot in Klooper Club ever again. I don't want
Right.
to say it in there.
I hear what you was calling them the other day. By the way.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that on your show because we have preachers watching your show. I gotta behave. Hi, my preacher friend.
Yes, I hear what they. Uncle Surah says yes.
I
There are
like I
Christians.
like that. I see we have a little diversity in the comments. I
Yes,
like that.
awesome.
Yeah,
Uncle
that's
Surah says
good.
there are Christian bullies. Some even go to Facebook to spread lies to make themselves and their name.
Look at Uncle throwing shade.
Christians hardly do any real research. And I see Uncle
Factual.
he, and I know Uncle is be sitting there on Facebook just saying, all right, how I gonna run them hot today?
Oh
Because
yeah, because he just run me. Look here, I
I
tell
gotta
Uncle two
add
weeks
him.
ago.
I have to add him on Facebook.
he's posting
Uncle just
things.
run your hot boy. You
Boy,
follow
look at it.
Uncle.
The Christians, listen, they just run so hard on him.
Well, like Andrew say, and they'll know we are Christians by our love. That's one of the great songs I learned in school, in the Catholic school. Thanks for the education, Catholics. Yeah. Anyway, and the
Mm,
thing is, we should know how you are by your life that you live.
yes.
Anybody could quote Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes.
Yep.
Show me how you living, and then I can know
Exactly.
what kind of person you is. And Dakota, you
Thank
said
you.
this is the
That's what
whole
I believe. And that,
give
you know
us.
what? That's not only what I believe, that's what I respect. See,
That's what you know. It's
I respect somebody who says, this is my religion. This is what I believe in. And you live by that. So when I see you as a person, when you respond to certain situations, when you present yourself a certain way, I can say, yes, I can see that that's what you believe in. And you, you are the embodiment of that. You are a reflection of that. I could see that. But when you're around here trying to quote 15 scriptures a day on Facebook, but you trashy and you around the place trying to be trapsy and doing all
and
sorts
teething
of
up the bank. You
unchristian like
uh
BS. See, I can respect that.
Hmm. And I
uh
agree. And that's what I say all the time. And Chrissy is laughing. I said, but listen, I don't care if you believe in the giant spaghetti monster, if you believe
Gregory,
in the dry lizard behind the tree. I don't care what you
the
believe.
chick Johnny in the bush. Greg,
Yeah,
you just run right out.
whatever you want to worship or
Run right out.
yourself to be, that's fine. What I'm going to make my judgment upon is how you deal with people, how you treat people, how you interact with people. That's how I make my judgments on people.
Exactly. Your
What you
actions.
subscribe to, I go by your action. I don't even go by what you say because
Your
mouth can say anything.
actions.
So I go by your actions, and I just
Yep.
wish people would, use their actions to do more good, as opposed. Because if we were really taking the positive aspects of Christianity, like you guys said, if we were really taking those things and applying them to life, we wouldn't have all the issues we have right
I
now.
agree.
No, we won't.
I
No,
in
we
the
would not.
Bahamas so uber Christian and look at what
Exactly.
challenges we have.
No, we would not. We would
Exactly.
not have the issues if all of the Christians that get together collectively and have so much to say about the social ills that we experience. If all of y'all MFers was living the way y'all should live based on y'all level of faith that y'all so express that y'all have, we wouldn't have these issues. Because
Yeah.
half the little bastards walking around here would grow into bigger bastards and committing crime. They wouldn't exist because y'all ain't be
Uh
able to turn out a wedlock to begin with.
and can you quote the
It's
stat?
y'all
Because a
so
lot of
good.
Bahamians forget 80% of the children in the Bahamas. Oh, Greg, Charmaine needs your help, child. We need an
Hey, no,
intervention for
I can
Charmaine.
close out. I can close out with that comment because that's
Charmaine say they could leave.
that's the epitome of bullying. I can close out with that comment.
Charmaine, you're wrong, sweetie.
So let's close out with this comment because we done run way over
Mm.
time. Just
Yeah, because y'all know I got date.
yes, you have to go. So
Birthday girl.
our man came back, the one who said that the devil walked into the schools in his full spandex and his on. Well, she didn't say all that, but she did say the devil walked into the schools in the United States. And she says people moving to the Bahamas with their own religionists belief,
Mm.
they can leave. Bahamas government
Katrina.
will stay
No.
as for me and my house. We will
Oh.
serve the Lord. The
Well, you
Bahamas.
and your house serve the Lord, Charmaine. Keep your house in your house.
But see, that's the thing. Again, and that's what I say.
They can leave.
The majority rules. They tell you what to do,
Yep.
then you
Well,
do it.
no, well, that ain't what that
How you
moniker is for.
carry yourself. You see what she say? Listen, this is a Christian nation. You all could push out if you all don't like it.
Well,
Y'all-
Charmaine is being a bullying Christian, and she's being a
She's been
little
that way all day. She's been the epitome of the topic of today.
yes,
Well,
exactly.
the
That's-
Bahamas Christian is as Christian does. A Christian nation doesn't have the highest per capita rate for AIDS. A Christian nation doesn't allow marital rape. A Christian nation doesn't discriminate against its female citizens by not
Hey,
letting
hold on,
them
Christian,
transfer their
hold on.
citizenship.
You
A
know,
Christian nation doesn't have murders to the rate of 170 a year.
There's no
Anyway,
such thing as marital rape, see.
it's marital rape, sweet girl. But they don't allow it because it don't exist. What you
oh,
talking about?
okay.
A husband can't rape his wife. What are you, crazy?
You can rape
I keep
yourself?
forgetting. Excuse me. I keep forgetting.
You own that, babe?
That's my things.
I got papers for that.
Oh,
Oh, my nation, my nation. But you know what? As fuck up as we are, it's still a beautiful country.
Yeah, it is. It is. We must admit.
Thanks
But,
for doing your part,
I
Greg.
agree.
yes, but I think at some point we got to start to advocate for more diversity when it comes to schools and religion because it's atrocious right now.
Save
Yeah.
your breath, Greg.
Yeah. No man, I ain't gonna save my bread for what?
Save that bread to go make me some s'mores cookies and deliver them here.
Listen, my time will expire. I don't know when, so I must do all that I can while I have this borrowed time that I am on
Yes,
to do as much as I can to leave this earth a better place than what I made it when I got here.
I agree.
Therefore, whether it be a waste or not, I shall still do my part because I know there are a lot of people that feel the pain that I feel dealing with this
Yes.
issue, and we
Let
must
our voices be heard.
We must speak up. We must eradicate this issue.
In the future, you can get
They're
left.
behind. So let's help these
Okay.
dinosaur companies to realize that this is the future, and they may
Yep.
put money where their mouth is and start to sponsor shows like this. So
And
that's
hopefully be one of the first.
yes,
One day.
yes. One day we shall, like what the Christians say, we shall overcome.
They do say that? I'm not sure. I'm sure I
That's
heard that
more
in a
civil
Yeah,
in, a,
guys.
in some
song.
type of
Ask Kelly when she come back home because that's the expert. I'll ask you. But thank you again, people. Thank you so much. Like I say, share the video. Check out Chrissy Love live to the world on YouTube now. That's the only way you can catch her on Facebook is on Under the Rock.
Catch me on the tops.
Yeah, but if you want to catch her on her show, she is on YouTube. Just go search for Chrissy Love live to the world. Go ahead, subscribe. We are also on YouTube, the Under the Rug podcast. Please subscribe because we post all of the shows up there now. All of the videos are up on YouTube. We post them also on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/go under the rug. Every episode from episode 1 to this one, which is 79, is there. So you can go and listen to all of the audio shows. And like I said again, go back and listen to watch episode 13 on YouTube. It's with my grandfather that just passed on Saturday, Albert Smith. He was 86 years old at the time of his passing. We did this show almost 2 years ago. 3 generations talking about the Bahamas and history of independence.
Awesome.
Where we,
And condolences to you, Greg.
thank you again.
And Dakota, happy birthday. Dakota, when is Bish please on? Because you look like you was come on when you feel like.
Yeah. Please let the
She's
people
on like.
go ahead and like her page first of all, because that seemed to be the only way you can know when she go live, because she ain't got no set time. So go ahead.
Do whatever the hell she want to do.
Yes, go ahead and like Bish.
Listen, I'm a busy woman. It all
You
happened so
unruly.
fast.
You unruly.
I'm trying to get it together.
I saw my peanut butter and crackers looking for Bish, please. You leave me hanging.
You know what? Since you're putting me on blast, I'm gonna commit with my
please.
in-depth best.
Greg,
That
we've heard
from
this
now
before.
on, this will air at 12 noon every Saturday. Well,
You're right.
I can't
Okay.
every Saturday, but Saturdays.
See? These podcasts, what is shift?
Things happen.
Saying write a page in the comments. Just search for Bish Please on Facebook. BISHPLEASE. Bish Please. Go ahead and like and follow her page so you'll know when she goes live. She has great topics, nice and short.
Too rude.
Few
A
minutes of-
topic is rude.
Yeah, and
Good.
she's real and honest. That's what I love. Upfront honesty. But again, thank you.
Okay,
We appreciate it. And that was this week.
Y'all,
Normally we do it on Thursday. Today is Wednesday, so we'll be back next week. I'm not sure the topic,
see you again.
again, but we will be back, and we ask that you follow our page so that you'll know when we go live, and continue to support. So thanks again, and peace out.
Bye, folks. Bye-bye.